Before any surgery is a critical component, the part played by the anesthetist or the anesthesiologist. This is the person who makes sure that you feel no pain and that your surgical experience is smooth. My name is Dr. Mercy Korir, and on this episode of Doctor's Diary, Chebet Birir brings you the story of Mary Mungai, one of the few nurse anesthetists in Kenya who practices in Kijabe AIC Mission Hospital.
They carry out procedures to numb sensation in certain areas of the body, to relax your muscles, or to induce sleep to prevent pain and discomfort, enabling a variety of procedures to be carried out. These are anesthesia practitioners. On Doctor's Diary this week, we bring you one of them.
My name is Mary Mungai. I'm a nurse anaesthetist by profession. I teach nurse anaesthetist in Kijabe College of Health Sciences and Kijabe Hospital.
Mungai has devoted herself to serving the community and passing her knowledge to upcoming generations of anesthesia providers.
I've been working as a nurse anaesthetist since 2007. Yes. I really like what I do because I enjoy doing acute medicine. I like it where there is action. And in anesthesia, there's a lot of action. You don't just sit there. There is a lot of things going on because you take care of critically ill patients. And as a woman, this has changed the way I think, and I would encourage women who are out there and would want to do this. It's a great opportunity because we can measure even with what men do.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and for Mary it hasn't been easy, but as she puts it, it has been worth it.
It has been a long journey because I can tell you that nurse anesthesia has not been a Kenyan thing. It has been going on in United States of America for many years. But for us here in Kenya, it was just a new concept altogether. So I'm one of those who were first trained in the country. I was in the pioneer class. And it was a long journey, even for us to get to the point whereby we could be allowed by the registration and licensing body to be trained and even licensed to practice in this country. So it took a lot of years, but there before, because there were very few anesthetists in the country, we were trained on the job. So we could do the job as an anesthesiologist, a consultant anesthesiologist. But then that could not last forever. So we had to come up with a way, or the senior people had to come up with a way of training us and get license so that we practice independently. So like from the time I started practicing as on the job, it took 10 years for us to be registered, trained, and licensed. So it has been a long journey.
Mm-hmm. Mary was born in Jabini area in Nyandarua County. She later on went to Bongo Primary School in the same area where she was one of the best performing students. This gave her the chance to join Uthiru Girls High School. She performed well again and got the chance to join Kijabe College of Health and Sciences where she trained as a nurse.
Since my parents, as far as economy was concerned, they were rural, I never decided to live there and do the kind of job they were doing. So I always liked education, and I was really looking forward to be independent and have my own job, but definitely not the garden job. I wanted to do something to do with medicine, though now I was not very much informed. So when I heard about the college in Kijabe, I applied and I was taken and trained.
After college, Mary got the chance to work in a family clinic, but she did not like it because of the regular routine that can sometimes get boring. Despite this, she kept working hard and was noticed by her colleagues who offered to train her in anesthesia.
I just worked there for 1 year and then requested to move to theatre. So I moved to theatre and trained as a theatre nurse. But again, the routine is not for me. And that's where now some of the consultants, anesthesiologists that were working in theatre noticed me and noticed my work and approached me so that I could be trained as a nurse anaesthetist. And that's how I started.
Mary was doing well as an anesthesia, but she also wanted to develop other people in the same line of work.
I had my director, who is Professor Newton. He really mentored me, and he saw the commitment that I had to the program. So he really mentored me to become a teacher and also to read the rest of the nurse anaesthetist. So that's how I came to be a read. Yes.
Since she had also developed a passion for teaching, she saw an opportunity to mentor others.
I'm a very proud person that I've been a trainer, because if I stopped working today, I know I have a lot of people that I have trained that can take over the job that I do. I've also mentored other people. There are people that we are training with. There are people who are doing great work as far as clinical is concerned. And so I'm a proud person that they are not just working in Kijabe Hospital, but they are all over in the country, giving good care to patients.
She takes us a little bit into what she does every day, the process of administering anesthesia.
So there are different ways of giving a patient anesthesia. I can start with the very common ones. So we have what we call general anesthesia, whereby we put the patient to sleep completely. So when they are undergoing surgery, they don't realize what is happening. So that is one way, and there are those patients that have to undergo that. So what we do, before we make a decision or a plan to do that, we have to see the patient first, what we call pre-op evaluation. So we take a history, we know who the patient is, we do a physical examination, we get to know whether they have another problem, and that informs the kind of anesthetic that we are going to give to them. Like I can give an example, like on our patient is a pregnant mother. So for pregnant mothers, we won't encourage, unless it's completely necessary, for us to put them to sleep. That is what we call GA, because there are risks and complications that can arise. But if it is completely necessary, we can go that way. So that is one way. And for a general anesthetic, we ensure that the patient is completely comfortable, they are asleep, they are relaxed, so that the surgeon can be able to operate. They don't experience pain, they don't remember of what was happening. So we put kind of completely they are out. And then when the surgery is over, we bring them back, we reverse them, and then we take them now to where they go and recover until they are completely ready, either to go home or to go to the ward. So that is one way. And for us to be able to do that, we have to have an anesthetic machine. A good anesthetic machine that you have to ensure that it's working well, is completely functioning well, so that our patients are safe. And then we have the drugs that now we use for that. For general anesthetic, we have different equipments, because sometimes we put a tube through the trachea to the lungs, and then we are able to put them on the machine so that the machine breathes for them. So when they are under GA, they have to be under this anesthetic machine, they have to be under good monitoring, because we have to monitor them throughout. So long as you are the general anesthetic, we have to monitor you completely and ensure that you remain stable, you remain safe, so that nothing happens to you, and then we remain pleasant. As we monitor them, we monitor. Human monitoring is key. So we don't leave when the patient is being operated. That is the work of the anesthetist. And then they can keep on changing different things. As long as whatever is happening, as far as surgery is concerned, if they are bleeding, then you do intervention so that our patients are safe. If you need to add medications, you go ahead and add medications. So all that happens. Another way of putting a patient to sleep or giving them anesthetic is what we call regional. And regional is in different forms. There is what we use most that I can explain, what we call spinal. Spinal is when we give them a drug at the back, and then what happens is that the body slips from the middle downwards. So we do that when the patient is undergoing surgery, either on the abdomen, lower abdomen, or on the feet, especially when they are coming for cesarean sections. And this is a great way because she can enjoy her baby. Once the baby is removed, she's not asleep. We can show her the baby, we can interact, and she is the first to see her baby. So it's a great way and a safe way of putting mothers to sleep for cesarean section or any other surgery that is on the lower abdomen or feet, so long as they are stable and they are safe for that procedure, for the spinal anesthetic, or what even we call epidural, whereby we can do it for mothers in labor such that they don't have to endure pain of labor. And it's a great way of putting a patient to sleep, and you be talking together, but they can't move the lower body.
Okay.
So it's...
Can tell us what could go wrong during, like, why do you need to monitor? Because what are the chances of it going wrong?
There are many things that can go wrong. Patients can react to drugs, so you have to really keep on monitoring them. And don't forget that these drugs we put in these patients have their own side effects. They are those things that they will do to the body. So we have to completely monitor that patient so that once we give them, maybe the blood pressure will go down. So when we are monitoring them, the blood pressure is going down, we give another drug so that it raises the blood pressure. Maybe the heart rate is changing. So there are many reasons as to why the patient has to be monitored. And actually, the truth is, no patient should be given an anesthetic without monitoring.
Mary undoubtedly loves her job, but she has also faced some challenges in her career, challenges that have made her think hard about the sanctity of life.
There are a lot of challenging moments because sometimes you have to take care of very critically ill patients. And it's not easy to lose a life. It's not. Like in this hospital, we have a lot of trauma patients coming in, so it's not easy. Somebody was just going aloud their own things and then they are involved in trauma, and taking care of them and seeing some of them lose lives, it's not easy. I also enjoy taking care of children. And that's my strength. Anesthetizing children and taking them through all that. And I really enjoy that. But at the same time, also taking care of critically ill children, and some don't do well, it's not very encouraging for me. Yes, there's a lot that is expected of me. Like now, I get to know the critically ill patients beforehand, and I plan on how they'll be given safe care. Even if it's at night, I have to be called, and my colleagues brief me on what is happening, and if they need a backup, I have to organize on how they'll get a backup. So it's not one of the easiest things to do. But I still like the challenge. I enjoy the challenge.
These challenging times in her career, Mary has learned some valuable lessons to always be committed and to excel in her work because, as she puts it, any form of mediocrity could cost a life.
I just don't come to work. I know I'm taking care of human beings, and I believe, and I tell my learners all this, that as a person, you only live once in this world. So you need to be given the best so that when you are put under anesthesia, you'll come out alive and healthy. So there is nothing like giving a mediocre care. You have to do your best, because if you compromise somebody, they only have one chance of life in this world.
When she's not administering anesthesia to patients or teaching, Mary runs a ministry in her church where she mentors young people. She also likes to spend time with her husband and children, who have played a major role in her career.
I believe in people upholding integrity. So I take a lot of time teaching them, and I also teach Bible study in my church. I have a great family. I'm married to a man by name Joseph, and I'm Mary, so Joseph and Mary. And I have 3 children. My children are, I can say, almost grown-ups, because the youngest is 16 years. He's in Form 4 now. Yes.
So how do you...
My husband has done so much. He really supports and believes in what I do, and he encourages me to be myself. So he is not the kind of a person who will really want to drive me. He encourages me to just go for it. The times I've been in school, he's been there for me. Even my children, they really encourage me to be me.
She also acknowledges that she has gotten to where she is now with the help of her mentors. In the same way, she encourages young people to work towards excelling in whatever they do.
I've worked with great people. Like I've just said, my mentor has been Professor Mark Newton. He's a very hardworking person, and also a person who really encourages people to do their best. He will not take rest. He just really encourages one to do their best. So he's one of those people that I really look up to, and very disciplined as far as our work is concerned. And so I also encourage them that I train to be the same. When it comes to taking care of people, they just have to do their best. There is nothing like in between. You just give your best.
Chebet Birir for Doctor's Diary, KTN News.
This is KTN News.